And he actually gave an incredible lesson, spoke to an enormous amount of people. And when he got done with the lesson, nobody accepted what he had to say, and they all left, except for 12 guys. And when the 12 guys were there, which is kind of weird for a teacher, it's like you're supposed to be like a teacher. You're supposed to like kind of win people to your side. And everybody left when he got done with his talk. And he said to the 12 guys that hung around, he said, well, aren't you going to leave too? You know, I guess you'd kind of not be trying to push away the 12 guys that hung out, but he just said, are you going to get out of here too? And they said, no, we're hanging out with you. We want to be with you. So he told them later, he said, you guys are going to do so much better than I ever have. And I'm honestly, to be talking to thousands of people and have them walk out on your talk is, that's not really great. It wouldn't be tough to beat. But one of these guys of the 12, not too many years later, gave a talk, and 3,000 people decided to join them. And all of a sudden, they have this group of like 3,000, just like boom, overnight. And so what the teacher had told him, you're going to do greater things than me, was true. It happened. Now, a long time after that, because there's always that influence that you have, a long time after that, another man came along. Nothing special, just a country farm boy. And he filled stadiums. Thousands of people for decades came to come listen to him. And you probably have guessed it if you've watched the news at all today that I'm talking about Billy Graham. And the reason I want to talk about that is because I don't want you to ever doubt your influence. Because here you have a guy who preached a message, who was Jesus. And Jesus is one of the pivotal, whether you're religious or not, or a believer, it doesn't really matter. That the point is that Jesus is an amazing historical figure. To the point that he literally has split time because our calendar across the world is based on his death. So, and so it's kind of like, on his birth. So it's kind of like a separating point. He's split time. So every time you write the date down, that's influenced by who he was as a man. That's an incredible amount of influence to over 2,000 years later to be influencing your calendar. Because the guy does, whether you believe or not, he does. He influences your everyday life. And later on, when this guy started, preaching, and he got 3,000, that was Peter. He did what Jesus couldn't do. He got people to come in. And then Billy Graham, years and years later, hundreds of years later, decides to take his passion and his purpose out into the masses, and tens of thousands of people followed him. And I want you to never, ever, ever, I want you to think about this. Don't ever doubt your influence. Don't doubt what you can accomplish. When you put your passion and your purpose, when you really line up your passion with what your purpose is in your life, and you line that up and you fire off and you go for that, never, ever, ever underestimate that. What the impact that can happen, because you can go from somebody who literally has influenced our calendars thousands of years later, a huge historic figure who couldn't even get more than 12 guys to follow him, to the point where you're filling stadiums with tens of thousands of people. You can have that kind of impact in your life. You can. There was nothing special about Billy Graham. My wife even said that to me today in a text. She said, I'm sure that he was just like anybody else. And you know what? I'm sure he was. And that's what I want you to realize. There's nothing special about him. He just decided to live in his passion and his purpose. That was it. So I want to encourage you to do that. Live in your passion and your purpose. Focus on what you can really accomplish in life. That's going to be that's where you're going to really see the rubber hit the road for you. Is when you find out what your passion is, what your purpose is. I was just talking to a friend of mine today, and she is so excited because she's living in her passion and purpose, and she said, I've gathered a team. I gathered a team. She's so excited because people are following her now. She's influencing. And that's amazing to me. When you live in your passion and purpose, people gravitate to you. And so that's what you need to do, is find out what that is and do that. And I want you guys to just focus on that today. Never underestimate your influence. Love you. Own your day. Bring the joy. Talk to you guys later. Have a great evening. I'm going to go teach my class. Bye.